Hey y'all, welcome to Blog Access One. I'm your host today, Bobby, with my main man Jeff. We are hijacking the show today from Rob.
No,
Uh,
Rob.
so Rob, don't get mad when we get higher ratings today. Just saying, JK, JK, JK.
Oh,
But anyway,
it's coming.
how you doing, Jeff?
I'm good. I'm chilling. Ready for game two today, actually. Looking forward to that, but I'm good.
Let's
How
get
are
right. Let's get right into it, man. Game two.
you?
Little bit of recap from game one. How we talked about how we saw the Halliburton coming out show. We haven't seen. I think since I've been living, I haven't seen nobody have a big moment in each round, like a closeout big moment each round, and just keep his composure and just have such an impact on the game. And we're talking about Tyrese Haliburton, the Haliban, Hal Qaeda, whatever you want to call it. They Halliburton has arrived at the finals. So,
Definitely.
what was your thoughts from game one, Jeff? Just to get your thoughts on game one.
Talking about the clutch shot at the end, but if you look at it throughout the whole game, he wasn't really having the best game. But the fact that on that last play, you seen he wanted the ball, he wanted that, and throughout the game, they were showing the statistic where since 1997, LeBron has like eight go ahead or game time shots in the last 5 seconds, and he has five already, and I think they were all in this postseason. So that just speaks to him. But throughout the game, like it was rough for them. They were down like 12 at halftime. Going into the second half, going into the fourth, they were down like 15. But the Pacers just kept pushing, kept pushing. And when it was time, Halliburton took it. Like he didn't hesitate. And I think that says a lot about his game and his character for sure.
I gotta agree with you. I think the one mistake that OKC did, and this is what a lot of teams have done, and I don't think there's also another mistake they haven't learned from the past. The first mistake was they kept shooting the three ball. Attack.
Okay.
When you got the lead, I'm a firm believer, and especially coaching basketball, you have to attack the basket. Like keep attacking. Don't just settle for threes.
It's like taking your foot off the pedal. You can't.
Exactly. You got to keep attacking. Like the game not over until it's 5 seconds left. Like I get it if you were up by 30 with 2 minutes left. There's no way a team comes back unless they hitting 10 threes like that. Is it possible? Yes, but we ain't seen that yet. But you were up by 15. You should have been attacking. You should have been putting in pressure. And they were in foul trouble. It just didn't even make sense. Like I would have been like, oh yeah, we getting to the line. We just gonna keep going to the line. 2 points, get these easy buckets. Oh, and one, you want to mix in a couple and ones in there, 3 points. Why keep shooting the three? It did not make sense. And going small ball.
Yeah, do you think that's a player thing or more of a coaching thing? Like
That's
do
a
you think your
coaching.
team,
That's
lock
definitely that's
downhill?
that's definitely it's a combination, really. It's a coaching and
Okay.
player. Because like as a coach, the whole small ball lineup, you shouldn't have did that. You should have kept Isaiah in, and even if they did hack Isaiah, you live with that. Because you
Yeah.
live with that. Because you still got and you got hella rebounds. Like you shouldn't have Jalen Williams playing on the four. He
Yeah.
shouldn't have been in four. You should have been playing your big lineup. What got you there and keep playing that. That's what got you there. Those bigs with Shea, Jalen, and then Caruso. And that should have been your final lineup or Dort, whichever one. And then two, this is what OKC did the last time they were in the Western Conference Finals. So if you remember with it was the KD and Russ final year, and they were playing Golden State.
Okay.
And the last 5 minutes, the ball was just going to KD and Russ. They weren't moving the ball around or anything, trying to make easy buckets for teammates. And that's the problem. And you know what? That's also the media problem too, is that they think everybody in the last 5 minutes is the time to play hero ball. No. You're trying to get the best shot. It's not about like, yo, for 5 minutes, I'm gonna get the ball. So now, guess what? If I'm the opposing team defense, guess what I can do? Key in on that player because I know they're not passing the ball. You have to. The final 2 minutes is where you should be playing hero ball. I will always say that the final 2 minutes.
Yeah,
If
go
not,
to.
we can cut it to the final minute if it gets like that, so you can close it out. So just have that close.
You gotta have your closer, but like at the same time, how you just said, why not continue with what got you there? Shying away
Exactly.
from it at the last minute does not make any sense. You're up and you're up good. You should be able to control that. Especially the Thunder. Like they know they lost game one to Denver and they bounced back game two, but they should know that you gotta keep pressing it, especially now in the finals.
Like it doesn't make sense. Like Shea and Jalen taking all those shots. I was sitting there like this. I was like, bro, like y'all the only two out there. No, do what got you there. Shea, get to the mid range and get your foul going. They probably not gonna call it, but get your mid range shot and don't try to bait the foul. Just shoot it and try to make it. It's better if you try. That's the one thing about a lot of foul baiters in the league. They're so concentrated on getting the foul instead of just, hey, I'm gonna make this shot.
Playing through, yeah.
Just make the shot and get the and one. It's okay. That's a better. I'd rather try to make. I'd be like, shoot, I'm gonna get this bucket, and if he fouled me, cool. That's an and one. That's a
Tell me, right? It's a plus, if anything.
yeah. It was kind of like okay, they weren't paying attention, but this game two will be interesting because if
Mhm.
Indiana ends up taking this game two at home, man, I might have to switch my prediction to Indiana in five because good Lord, like
We didn't even talk about how they played with so many turnovers. At the half, they had 20 plus turnovers. That's
it,
not normal. That
you
is not.
never, I don't think I've seen a finals game like where you had 20 plus turnovers and still win the game. Like that's an automatic death sentence to me. Like I see that as a death sentence to any team. Like when you're playing the game, you get 20 turnovers, you have 20 turnovers, that's a death sentence. Like you can't win that game. You shouldn't be able to win that game.
You should not be able to win that game.
But guess what happened when you live by the three, you die by the three. And guess what? They were shooting them threes and letting them keep getting set up and getting in transition and stuff.
So,
Like with a team like Indiana, and I think we haven't seen this. I was listening to Draymond's podcast, and I also was listening to that LeBron and Steve Nash podcast.
mhm.
Um, they got control chaos on their offense. Those guys are cutting and they're cross cutting too. So they're not technically setting a moving screen. Like they when they move, how you supposed to switch on a cross cut? Like you're trying to figure out, okay,
It's like a rub. It's like they just cut in the floor.
and then you have to guard the ball handler. So it's like it's really you're making the defense be like, hey, you're gonna have to switch three times in one action. And that's a hard thing to do.
It's definitely a hard thing to do.
So
Defense has to be on their toes.
so they're playing organized, they're playing like chaos basketball, and then with Halliburton being like, "Hey, it don't matter. Like I might be having a bad game, but I want the ball in the final minutes or so. If I can't take the shot, that's fine." And then we got to talk about Pascal. Pascal is definitely the number one scoring option on that team. I know everybody's like, "What about Halliburton?" No, there's different levels. Halliburton's the number one overall option, and I'm talking about on
There's a huge difference in that. There's a
big
big difference.
difference. Number one overall option, he is the number one overall option when you need that right pass. You either need the shot or you need him to make the right play. Okay? It
Yeah.
don't matter the right play. With Pascal, he's the number one scoring option. He gonna get you a bucket.
He's gonna get you a bucket. He's gonna settle y'all in. He's gonna make sure you guys get a good possession for sure. Do you
And
think at the end when Tyrese, you think he was going to shoot no matter what, or he would have made the right play? Kind of like what LeBron gets slack for, where he might pass it at the end, but it was a good play. Do you
yo,
think that, or he trying to go get that bucket?
Yo, I think Halbert would have made the right play. So that means also getting the bucket too. It would have been the right play regardless. He saw that Case and Wallace switched on him and not Shea and or Jalen. Because I'm pretty sure if that was who was guarding him, and I get it, Case and Wallace is a good defender. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But in that situation, you want either Jalen or Shea Garden or Dort Halliburton. You should have had Dort probably guarding Halliburton. Burton. And so he saw
It
Case and
was off the
Wallace.
miss. It was off the miss, and you know how they play. They're down there.
You got to keep it going. And thank God for Carlisle not calling the timeout because most coaches would have called the timeout. No, you got to as a coach too, you got to read the situation and be like, okay, does this make sense? Or is their defense getting back? Like it's a quick second. It's like, oh no, they're not. Their defense is not set up. So let's get in transition and make an easy play. It was either I think Pascal was cutting to the rim too at the time when that was going. So he had a pass to Pascal.
Yeah.
He saw, but also too, I think Dort was kind of like trailing beneath to where Dort could probably hit it out of bounds or intersect it, and now you got a set play, and that doesn't look work in their favor for Indiana because Indiana is a high transition team and they like to get out and run. So with
Exactly.
Halliburton, he saw Casey Wallace is on me. I have at least a couple inches over him, especially with my wingspan. I'm gonna shoot it. I'll live. I'll live and shoot this. Like I don't need a three. I just need a two. I'm gonna shoot this and see what happens. Like that was just him making a quick decision and the right decision. And it all worked out and he made the shot like
Yeah,
he's done before.
definitely. And I think Indiana has earned Rick's confidence, his trust for at the end of the game where he'll let them go, not call that timeout. We saw it on the next series when he sent it to overtime and it bounced all the way up in the sky, where he's giving them the opportunity, like, okay, I trust you guys. And when the coach has trust in you guys, because throughout when I used to play, you go out there with the ultimate confidence. So Tyrese is out there, look, no matter what, I'm here because I know I got my teammates got my back and I got a coach that believes in me.
That's exactly, yo. And you're seeing it, and we're about to see game two tonight.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
I think OKC wins this game. I don't think it's gonna be a blow. I think it's gonna be another close game. Hopefully OKC learned from their mistakes and not taking their foot off the good gas off by 15. Like to beat Indiana, it's looking like you have to beat them. So you need to be up by 30. Like you need to put belt to ass and like be up by
From
30.
rip.
So I hope their defenses, I mean, they still carry over game one defense like they were at the beginning, try to cause them those turnovers, make them get in a turnover and foul trouble. But those last few minutes, they need to like really think about how they close out the game. Yes, Shea is your closer, but it's good. But just because you're up by 15 don't mean it's a guaranteed win with Indiana, as you see.
Definitely. I think game two will definitely look a lot different than game one, in my opinion. You think it might be close, but it brings me back to when they lost to Denver and they came back and they respond. That's one thing about OKC where they do respond, they understand, and they stay even killed. Like even Jalen Williams in his interviews where he says, "Oh, it could have been worse," where they come back and they come with a new mindset where it's a new game, so you gotta do what you have to do. But on the Indiana side, if I won that game with that many turnovers, I'm going into game two with the most confidence ever as a player. Like they said I don't know if you've seen the video, but it was him and Siakam, and he's telling him, "Let's get greedy. We got a chance here. Let's get greedy." And I think that's the mindset they have, and that's kind of scary because nobody believed in them. But when you believe in yourself and you believe in the team and the people around you, like you said, you could put the belt to ass real easy.
And that's the thing, you gotta go in there like, yo, technically OKC has been the best team in the NBA this year. So you have to be like, oh, they didn't think we were up there. So you gotta be greedy. You have to. Like you can't come in there and be like, oh, we got one here, so we did our job. Like, no, that's the worst kind of thinking. You gotta be like, nah, we trying to get the dub. And I'm pretty sure everybody's trying to get the dub, like, but you gotta like really be like, nah, we coming in here to sweep these boys. Like it's another we come
That's
in here to cause a home sweep. And then we come back home, we win game three. Oh yeah, now that's where the only pressure they'll see is when trying to close it out. That's the only pressure they'll see. But if they happen to get game two tonight, I'll be like, oh, this series, and I was hoping this would be like the Detroit Pistons versus San Antonio Spurs series, go to seven, because that was great basketball. Two small market teams who then everybody was like they were the best in their conference, but at the end of the day, nobody wanted to see that because it
really the
was
money.
fundamental basketball that people don't want to see. They didn't know any of the players. There was no stars or anything, but this is what you want to see if you're a true basketball fan. Like if you love basketball, you want to see this because A, it's making you think and you're looking at plays different. And two, it's about to set up what the league for the next 5 years. Now it's showing like, yeah, you gotta have a superstar, but you better have a team around your superstar too. And that's what it is. Like Boston started it off with their team having last year, having
Yeah.
like, okay, you gotta have wings, you gotta be able to switch every position and do what you can. Now look at these teams now, like they can switch every position and stuff, but now you gotta play team ball. Actually gotta run actions. You actually got to need to push the tempo and run in transition. Oh, like there, you need to communicate. Oh, you got to have that multiple defensive stoppers or like not defensive stopper, but defensive uh handyman that can at least cause some turnovers.
Yeah, or that's gonna guard 94 feet. And I think that's exactly what Miles Turner talked about, where he said, I think OKC and ourselves are changing the narrative where that big three or you big two or whatever superstars, that might not be the answer anymore. Like we just talked about, you need that team. You need a team, people who are gonna play their role, and that makes a huge difference. And like you said, as a basketball fan, you love to see this matchup because you got two teams that won it. You got OKC where Shea is trying to create his legacy where he's has the potential to be the face of the league, like you said, for the next 5 years and in the future. And you have Indiana with Haliburton, his story, where from most underrated to Mr. Clutch in one postseason. Like we never seen that before. So it's definitely great basketball, and I'm definitely looking forward to game two.
Yeah, game two is going to be exciting. So, in other news, we got to get to the football world.
Yes, sir. We got to.
Aaron Rodgers has officially signed with the Steelers. Well, he will sign with the Steelers at minicamp. Um, my opinion on Aaron Rodgers signing with the Steelers. Why? Because your offensive coordinator is Arthur Smith, and I'm not a big Arthur Smith fan. And
Mm,
so I wonder how this is going to happen. I do believe the Steelers will not make the playoffs next year. They'll be on the edge because of the AFC North, but
yeah,
I
sure.
don't, I mean, it's good for DK. It's good for DK. And it's good for Jalen Warren. But that no, it's actually bad for Jalen Warren. If I'm in fantasy, I ain't drafting no Steelers running backs because they are not going to get the ball.
They're not.
I'm
Yeah.
not drafting the Steelers running back at all. I don't, because he is not going to run the ball. He is going to change the play into pass, 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 pass.
Per game, that's gonna be their mindset going into the season. The short game is gonna be very crucial, because like you said, they're not running the ball.
I already know. Like I feel bad. Like DK's fantasy stock did go up. It did go up, but how much will Arthur Smith calling the plays? Because I'm not a big fan of him. I'm sorry. Like Arthur
Yeah,
Smith, he's to me he's trash. He
no, for sure.
he was
Uh,
trash. He was trash in Atlanta when he was the head coach. He had his good years in Tennessee, but he's to me trash. Didn't even know how to use Kyle Pitts. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't say that because nobody apparently knows how to use Kyle Pitts in the offense. So it's always interesting to see that. It's either Kyle Pitts is soft. I don't think he's soft, or he doesn't understand the different level because college football is different from NFL football. And I think it might be a miscommunication understanding.
mhm,
And at that point, and two, the offensive coordinators that they have sucked. So
yeah. Yeah. But
I
however, ultimately, like coming back to the Steelers, I think this is better than what they were going into the season with. Ultimately, Aaron Rodgers, he's 41. He's not the player that he once was. We all know that. But I think it does give him a chance. They always been at least over above 500 or at 500. I don't think it's gonna go all good. Like you said, they'll be on the line to playoffs right there, probably get in or not get in. But ultimately, I think, like you said, it hurts the run game, the running backs. But I think it's better than what they were going into the season with Zach Wilson, Mason Rudolph, I believe. But
good Lord.
yeah, so I'll take 41 Aaron Rodgers at
Well, at
that.
least Zach Wilson can learn from A-Rod again. That's funny.
Will Howard, yeah, Will
Will
Howard.
Howard. Oh, Will Howard. Oh, that's not. I ain't mad about Will Howard because Will Howard knows how to play Ohio State. If Rob was on here, he'd be like Buckeye Central. I'd be like, bro, that guy got lucky because he had Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator, and he had
Yeah,
multiple. He had a whole bunch of different receivers. Come on, if I had that, dog, yeah.
I'll be throwing the ball out to Jeremiah Smith too.
Jeremiah Smith, Ibuka, he had a lot of people. So, but that's
Sure.
nothing to take away from Will Howard. Will Howard is
And him being under Aaron Rodgers, I think that's probably the mindset for them as well, where they had a chance. A lot of people say draft a quarterback, and some people had Shador falling to the Steelers, but now we see their mindset. We see why they made the decision they made. They went with Will Howard.
I think Shador didn't go to the Steelers is because the Rooney saw like, man, Dion gonna try to be our coach, and Dion ain't never he that a lot of people don't want to deal with what Dion brings. It's not saying he's a bad coach because he's definitely not a bad coach. They
No,
just don't want to deal with the glitz. And the Steelers is a what you call a blue collar team in a blue collar town. They don't really like all the celebrity and stuff and everything.
especially Mike
They
Thomas, he's not going
yeah,
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody want to go for that. No, it's just the team in general. If you look at their coaches in the past,
Their history.
yeah, their coaching history is all blue collar guys who's like, nah, we here to work. We here to
Yeah,
win ships and work. And you got to respect that. And I don't think
sure, you
I look
definitely.
at I look at Dion, I'm like, I don't think Dion's personality and how he wants to would work. As much as Dion says, "Oh, I want to stay in Boulder and stuff. I don't want to go to the NFL and stuff." There's a little bit of him that does.
If he gets the opportunity, I think he would.
And it's got to be the right opportunity for him.
Yeah, that has to be the right opportunity. But ultimately, when you think about it in hindsight, will it be a good decision for Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers? Will it work out how it will look in the future? We might not have the answer to all those questions, but we kind of see where their mindset was headed. Like you said, nobody wanted to deal with that. And it sucks because a lot. I think that's probably why he fell so far. Shador, talking about Shador, because a lot of teams didn't want to deal with the media aspect of it. But for the Steelers drafting Will Howard, now you have Aaron Rodgers ahead of him for at least a year. I think that would do some good for their organization.
That's a good point. Like I mean, I think Will Howard will be a good QB. Something tells me he will be a good QB. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be all pro and all that. He's gonna be a good QB,
Yeah.
especially in the Steelers. He'll be a good QB. It just depends on like also too with A-Rod, like is he gonna listen to Mike Tomlin? Is he gonna pay attention? Like,
Yeah.
because I get it, you won a lot of MVPs, and honestly to tell you, your Super Bowl ring, that wasn't because of you. It was most of it was because you had some crazy weapons. The weapons you had, Donald Driver, Gray Jennings, a young Jordy Nelson.
Yeah.
Like you had some weapons and a crazy defense. The defense, Charles Woodson, Clay Matthews Young, AJ Hall, like he has some dogs on defense. BJ Rogers, like they had some dogs. Like but that's the thing about football. It's not a one man game. It's a team. It's the definition of a team sport. And like Aaron Rodgers did help contribute. I shouldn't have said he didn't, but he did help contribute. But at the end of the day, team was loaded with talent too.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And I think that's the mindset you have to have. If you're Mike Tomlin, like we have to make sure he's on our page. We're not on his page. Because that was kind of the issue with the Jets and Robert Saleh because it was either A-Rod's way or the highway. And I like we just talked about the Steelers, their history. I don't think they're going for that. I think he has no choice but to get on their page, and I think he will. And how that looks in the future, how that looks for the season, I'm not sure. But I think because of the organization, because of their history and who they have at the head coach, I think A-Rod will fall in line ultimately.
Oh, don't worry, I will test it out on Madden before the season starts just to see
We'll
what
see how it look for sure. We could do an episode where we just get on Madden for the whole day, for the whole episode.
I will test it out on Madden and see how that looks. Just to see, even though I am a Eagles fan, so that's all that
Yeah,
matters at the end of the day.
that's all I care about.
That's all that matters at the end of the day. Uh, we'll wrap up with this. Being from Houston and loving the Rockets, I just wanna issue something to the New York Knicks. What in the world were you thinking about trying to poach our coach, Ime Udoka, to go to New York? That's not happening. Like, stop. Stop. That is y'all fault. Y'all fired Thibodeau. Y'all shouldn't have fired Thibodeau, in my opinion. Y'all should have told Thibodeau, but like, hey, we're gonna give you one more year. We are trading Cat. We're gonna get somebody, and we're trading Mitchell Robinson. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna try to like you should have tried to build a team, and I would have told Tibbs this too. Hey man, you got 15 people on your roster. At least play nine of them.
At least.
At least play nine. Like we can understand not playing 10, but at least play nine. Good Lord. And that's Tibbs' problem. Tibbs did that with the Bulls. He did that with Minnesota. Like, dog, you're tiring out your players. Also, too, Jalen Brunson offense, which is just, hey, Luca and James Harden, I'm just gonna dribble, 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 and then I'm gonna dish you the ring,
Yeah.
get seven, say. Like, that's unrealistic. You cannot win ships. If your goal objective is to win a ship, you cannot win championships with that playing style. It is hard to ask somebody to play 81 games and be the one handling the ball for 81 for let's see, there's 48 minutes a game. Let's say for 40 minutes of that game. Like that's insane. And now
And
you
it's
gotta
yeah, it's not like he just waits till the playoffs where okay, I'm going with my guys. He's doing this the whole year.
and so everybody knows what's coming up. It's like whether you stop it or not. And that's my whole thing. I'm like, Jalen Brunson, don't get me wrong. Jalen Brunson is a star. He
He's
is
like
a
that.
star.
He's like that.
He is nice. He is one of the top point guards in the league. He's top 5 point guard in the league. I think. Like I think he's the top 5 point guard. I don't know. Like, would you put Steph in there? Because it's always gonna be Steph to me.
Yeah, yeah, I
Steph.
think so.
Um, I'm gonna put Halliburton in there. You got to put him as a top 5 point. I gotta put Brunson, and then I'm thinking of point guard. Shoot, oof. It's hard because like there's so many shooting guards that are playing point guard, so I don't really count them as
Like Shea.
like. Well, Shay's a better point guard to me, so I'll give Shay that point. Because
Yeah,
even when Josh Giddey was on the team, he was playing point.
that is true.
So
I like
Shay,
I like Josh Giddey's game too, but yeah,
yeah, we like his game on the court, not off the court, and
yeah.
that's a different story. Like Shay's up there, and then I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, I could put Lillard when he's healthy, but he had a bad year this year. I
Yeah,
could say
you're
Book,
right.
but Book point guard. I don't think Book is a true point guard, and that bothers me. So no, like I'm thinking of point guards. Like I'm probably missing somebody. Like I mean, technically Luca, but even then, Luca he's a point forward, so I don't like putting him in that conversation. Like I look at the Chris Paul. Oh, Cade. I'm sorry, I'm tripping.
He kind of
Cade. And like I know people gonna be like, Cade's a top 5 point guard in this league. I'm like, yes, he's a true point. Like, let's look at point guards. Like, these are guys that are true points. Like, Cade's a true point. Tyrese is a true point. Shea, although he doesn't he gets more credit for his scoring, he is still a true point guard. If you let him, he can run an offense. Shea is a true point. Steph. Like you got to give him, he's a point guard. Yes, he's a scoring guard, but he can run an offense if it was asked of him. But since it's never been asked, Steph is up there.
for
And
sure.
then
I think that's why people like Halliburton so much because he is a true point guard, like we talking about, and seeing him do it on this stage as a true point guard is great to see, and I think it personally is good for the game of basketball.
shoot, I could put Fox in there. Fox is a true point if you want to. Like there's a lot of true. It's hard because there's so many shooting guards that are point guards.
Yeah, yes, yes.
And to me, I'm looking at like, I mean, are you really a point? Like I really consider you a two more than anything, but it should be interesting. But I just want to, relay that out to the New York Knicks. Like, hey, Ime is not coming. He's not up for trade. He's not up.
Houston had a great year, I think. He may not. He's not going.
There's no way. Ime is staying here. All right. He's got a home in Houston. He always welcome in Houston. He will always man, we hope to have him for years and years to come.
Yeah, they had a
I
great year.
know, now I know in New York, hey, can we get Ime? No, why would we accept you talking to them? And then
Right.
also they're trying to get Jason Kidd. Now that's one
I
that's interesting.
I heard that one too.
The Jason Kidd one actually, I could see him doing that, especially depending on what the ownership. So with Nico and the ownership, and like I, depending on what they do in the draft, because I also could see Dallas trading that number 1 pick for Giannis. I see
Oh,
that.
that would be nice.
I
That
could
would.
see that happening. If your window is Cooper Flag does not fit in your window, like you said for Nico Harris, if you're in the window of saying 2 years, like we got 2 to 3 years to compete for a championship, Cooper Flag does not fit in your window. So you
You the decision you made because you wanted to win now. You thought defense win championships.
you go get Giannis. Now that's a big front court. Now you're telling Giannis, hey, you're gonna play the small forward? That's insane.
Imagine the three having to guard Giannis.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, especially with the small ball line, I'd be pissed. Like you
Facts.
sitting there like, dog, how am I supposed to guard this, man? Now it will be a traffic jam in the paint because you got AD. Good thing AD can play out, but it
Yeah.
depends on Gafford and Lively. But I think the spacing will be figured out. To me, I wouldn't be surprised either too if the Mavs like drafted Dylan Harper.
Yeah, yeah, that would be.
Cooper Flag.
Let's see who fit into.
Yes, Cooper Flag is 6'7", and it's the small forward that you could use. But right now, you need a point. You don't have Kyrie Irving. Unless
Yeah,
you get Chris Paul, which I think unless they got commitment from Chris Paul being there, that's cool. But Chris Paul has got on podcasts like he wants to be closer to his kids. Like he wants to, he hasn't had his family around and all that. So to me, it sounds like he's looking for LA.
I did hear. How about this? What if Jason Kidd, and Giannis to New York?
Well, you got to trade Jason Kidd, so I wonder what that trade look like because you can trade coaches in the league. So what are you trading? You're probably trading Mitchell Robinson for sure.
I did not know you could trade coaches.
Yeah, you can trade coaches. Doc Rivers got traded to the Clippers from Boston.
Holy, I did not know that.
Nah, that was the first time for me too. When I found out, I was like, you can trade coaches?
Yeah, if that's
That's,
me right now, I'm going like, what?
I mean, but the other team got to want the coach too. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So like, if I'm doing that, I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting Mitchell Robinson. I don't want OG's contract. And you know what? I might try to get Miles McBride.
Yeah,
But I might
I
try to
think
get
that
my.
would work on both sides too because Jason Kidd and Giannis they have a history together, and then you have Jalen Brunson and J Kidd too. I think that would be cool too on both sides.
I think it'd be interesting to see. Like if that does happen, that'd be cool. But I think J Kidd might just stay in Dallas. Like,
Ultimately, yeah. I
but
think
nothing surprising me in Dallas if that was to happen. The
if they
trade,
trade the first pick or something, I wouldn't be surprised
like
either.
my guy didn't even know about the Luka trade. He was probably like, "Yo, what the hell? Like you traded a generational talent." Shoot, I know
Oh man,
Dallas.
he's a
Dallas
head
is so
coach.
happy. Dallas gotta be so happy that the Lakers did not go off on like some finals run and stuff because that'd have been the worst case scenario for Dallas.
Yeah, imagine. Look, you say you coach, right? Imagine one day you wake up and your best player is on another team.
I'm probably getting
You
fired.
don't even know.
Probably getting fired that day too for cursing out the GM. I'm probably getting fired. Like, be real honest. Like, I'm be sitting there like, bro, you didn't consult me.
That's insane. I think that's probably why Luca might feel some type of way because at the same time it's like how don't you talk to the coach or how don't you talk to anybody to make a decision like that?
And that's the interesting fact. I mean, we'll see what happens. This offseason is about to gear up in 2 weeks with the NBA draft. We'll see. That will be the start of everything.
Yes, sir. Um,
But Jeff, it's been a good time. You got any closing remarks you want to say?
no, we're looking forward to game two with blog access. And hopefully, we know you switched from 5 to 7. We'll see if that changes after today. But we're definitely looking forward to the series, and we'll tune in definitely.
OKC and 7. And like I said, I didn't say this earlier. Subscribe, submit. Will be on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes.
Yes, sir.
Um, just run the numbers up, y'all. Run the numbers up. We ain't got Rob here today. It's me and Jeff. So we hijacked the show. Run those numbers up so we can show Rob like, hey man, we get numbers too.
For sure, I'm sending this to everybody I know. I
I
got
bet
you.
it's same. All right, brother. You have a great Sunday, and I'll
You
talk to
too.
you soon. All right.
For sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.